G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay and welcome to my very, very late round review. I just recorded the Swordplay potty with the boys and I said, look, I still haven't recorded my round review and it's because I've had no idea what to do with the side. So I sat down, had a bit of a tinker with things and I think that I've finally worked out a plan. I think that I'll be able to finish with 23 primos along with a couple of decent rookies on the bench. But on the downside, this plan involves finishing that side with only 3 trades left in the bank. This will be at the conclusion of round 16, so basically 2 months, 3 trades. But we do have that flex spot. It is best 22, and hopefully I'll have someone like McCarthy still sitting there on the bench as that 24th type guy. We're not expecting 133s each week, understand that, but I still think he's going to be a really handy rookie moving forward. So the main focus, I suppose, for this round of view is going to be on what my plan is moving forward, how I'm going to complete the side, and which players I'm looking to bring in. For this round anyway, a 2062, talk about par, I literally went up 10 spots in the ranking, 3,362, so not looking fantastic. The buyers have certainly not been kind to me, but I'm going to make a couple of moves this week and then finish up with a couple of moves next week to complete the side. So we're going to keep this intro very short and sharp. I'll quickly show you how the side is currently looking, and then we're going to get the Word document out and show you the grand plan. Alrighty, let's have a look at this side. So in defence, I'm relatively happy at the moment. We've got Dale, Whitfield, Nazaya, really happy with those 3. Great to see Whitfield's got his old role back. Wanganeen Miller came in last week. I took him over Butters. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm pretty happy with it at the moment because I think he's certainly going to be a top 6 defender. He's not quite there at the moment, but I think he's going to get there. Dale's been fantastic lately. Zorko back to form, but a little bit up and down. Roberts obviously had the bye, but he was my captain with Brayshaw as a VC. Clark did nothing for that 29. And then the disappointing one was McKercher. Now, the roll was there, got enough the ball, but efficiency was way off, terrible conditions. But again, the roll was there. So I'm not overly concerned, but we obviously want a fair bit more from him. So a little bit disappointing there, but overall the defence, did fantastic for me last week. Now, Jack Sinclair is currently in the midfield, and I think that's where he's going to stay. We'll talk about team structure in a little while, but 109 from him, that's all good. I think he gave away a 50 at the end, which was disappointing. Lost some points there, but can't complain with that at the end of the day. Brayshaw, the 130, ended up taking him as a VC. Very, very happy. He's probably been my best starting pick, I think, Andy Brayshaw, so fantastic. And then we get to this man. Oh, I shouldn't have listened to the Marvel run. I shouldn't have got caught up in the stats, but it's so hard not to. And I'm the biggest advocate of the Bond. I've started him for the last 5 odd years. Obviously not this year, but always loved the Bond. But I should have gone through with my original plan, which was to wait, and it would have been absolutely perfect. But I decided to go in, and unfortunately did not work out. But hopefully he comes back for us this week against the Tigers. We need a big, big game from him this week, but super disappointing there. Wrong decision, is what it is. Dawson, he's been fantastic since I've brought him in. Really getting him in for that Supercoach finals run. Got a really nice month there, but by this week, gone up to 583k. 583k. So, he's been fine for me. Cherrut with a 102. Got a really nice draw coming up as well, and he's never going to get tagged. That's a strategy we're going to look at going into next year, is do you go those second, third type banana midfielders that you know aren't going to cop that attention week upon week. So, really happy to have Cher on the side there. Neil, if you follow me on X, you'll know that did I stuff up or not last week? I stuffed up my trades. Now, I legitimately thought that I put this trade through, Lockie Neal out, and Wanganeen Miller in, so it was going to be Neil for Wanganeen Miller. Oh, sorry, no, Neil for McKercher. It was going to be, sorry, I'd already got the Wang in. It was going to be Neil for McKercher, but didn't end up going through the trade. It legitimately didn't. So in the end, had to go McKercher in for Carroll, and Carroll ended up scoring really, really well. I'm probably going to make some money. So did it work out okay? Maybe. The thing is, in my plans, Neil most likely stays for the rest of the season. We'll get to that in a minute. Dacos didn't play with the bye, comes back this week, but has been a disappointing pick. And Dunkley, super disappointing, but what we need to remember as well, a little bit of context, when Payne went down, Hipwood went back, and Dunkley had to spend a little bit of extra time rotating forward. So disappointing, but I'm hoping that the structure comes back with a Dizzy or a Day, and he can resume that midfield role. That'd be nice for us. Hall finally got half a game, well, not half a game, a quarter of the game. Still got 30, which is better than what some rookies getting in full games. Johnson, phenomenal with an 84. Would love to keep him. Don't know if we can, though. Box obviously had the bye. These two blokes here, don't know what happened with Cherry in that last quarter, but these are the two guys that you absolutely want in your ruck line there. Got Boyd, and you got Baz. Warner didn't play. Bolton, yeah, disappointing, but terrible conditions for a 78. Daniel with the 80 there, not fantastic. Rankin has just been absolute poo lately, and you'd love to just sideways trade him. Very, very tempting. I'm not in the position to do that personally, but for those that are, good luck to you. And then Pedlar on field, would love to get rid of him. These two guys aren't doing anything. Well, Archer Day Weeks a 22. So let's get into, in the flex, we've got Harry Sheasel with a 115. So great to see him in the midfield rather than playing up forward. So all happy with the Shees. So let's have a look at what I've got here at the moment. We'll just get the best team on the field that we can. So Clark will go off. That's pretty much the best team. So at the moment, Dale Whitfield, Wangani Miller, Zorko, Roberts, and McKercher. So these two blokes here, you're not wrapped with, but I suppose depending how you look at it, you could put Sheasel there. You're happy with that. So maybe one down that you're a little bit worried about, but you've also got Sinclair there. So I think that what I've done here is I've maybe overinvested in defenders. So this may come into my trade plans. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, these four I'm really happy with. Sinclair, even compared to the midfield, is averaging 115. He's right up there. So I'm happy with leaving him and allowing a little bit of flexibility in the midfield there anyway. Brayshaw really happy with. The Bond, well, yeah, hopefully he comes back. Dawson happy with. Chera's all good. He's not in that top line range, but he's all good. Neil, here's the one I really want to move on. I'd love to go a sideways trade this week. I just can't do it. I'd love to go Neil to George Hewitt. I think that would be a really nice trade. Neil's obviously going to miss that extra game on Hewitt. I think Hewitt's going to go really large. Again, that second, third banana with Walsh out. I think midfield time goes up slightly. I just don't think I'm in position to do it. So Chocky's probably going to be a frustrating hold for me for the rest of the season. Dacos, obviously going to be a hold. And Josh Dunkley could also be a bit of a frustrating hold, but it is what it is. As I said, these two blokes you're really happy with. And overall in the forward line here, while Pedlar you have to get rid of, I definitely need another forward. Sheasel goes back, whatever, bit of DPP. Bolton's not great. Warner's not great. Rankin's not. Like, this is a pretty terrible forward line. You're missing, Horn Francis. You're missing Petrarca. I probably wouldn't have McRae over many of the blokes. Darcy is definitely another one that I'd love to have there. So I am missing a forward or two. I think that may be hurting me. So this brings me to what I'm going to do to finish the side. So there's pretty much one spot here that I need to fix. I've looked at everything. So originally it was going to be Chocky Neal down to someone. Not going to happen. I was then going to sideways Neil to your Hewitts or your Butters. Not going to happen. I thought Roberts down to Mills. No, how about Roberts down to McCarthy? Well, McCarthy I think I definitely need to get in. We need to get him in. Even this week with the bye, if it helps for future planning, I think that's okay. Now, this is what I'm thinking at the moment. And I've got this prepared in a bit of a Word document as well. This took me so long to get to this, and I still don't know if it's right or not. But given the fact that I think I've got that extra defender up my sleeve, and given the fact that we've got McCarthy now available as who knows what he could produce. I'm not saying 130s, but let's just say if he goes, a solid 80 plus each week, then that's great as even that 24th type player if you got the luxury. So these are all the things that I'm taking into account. So who's the bloke that I really don't need here in the defenders? Well, I've got Sinclair, who I want, Dale, Whitfield, Nazaya, Zorko, who I probably want. It's either a Roberts or McKercher, and I've also got Sheasel, remember, in that flex spot. So what I think I might do is actually get Sheasel down there, do something like that, and get rid of Roberts. Now, what I really need to do here is get another forward in. So what I can do here is go Sheasel down there, and I can bring in this man here. The break even's big, but Sam Darcy, I think his next few weeks could be extremely juicy. And what I do here is I actually get that forward in that I want, and I'm still one down. I understand I'm still that 23rd primo down, but I've got a bit of a plan for that. Now, with only 14k in the bank, I don't have many trades left. I've only got 7. So what I'm thinking, and this is hard because you don't want to trade Clark yet because he's playing this week and hopefully still got some money to make. He's got a break even at 15, so you're hoping, even if he gets a game, think that he will, but who knows. Johnson's obviously still got money to make. I'm hoping he goes up to around the 230k mark. Boxall, who knows, but doesn't have enough money on his head. Hall obviously has a buy. Daywick, Snow, and then Simpson doesn't have much money on his head. You've also got Gray there who could come into calculations as well. But at this stage, just to get some DPP here for now, I think that I'm just going to go, and when I say early, congratulations to those that did go really early on McCarthy, and just open up 119,800. Let's just call it 120k. So let's just put Darcy there just for now, and then put Pedlam in the flex. So this is pretty much how my defence is going to end, with Dale, Whitfield, Nazaya, Shees, Zorko, and McKercher as at D6. I think that's really fine. McKercher, obviously the weak link there. This will be the midfield, so no changes there. No changes in the ruck. And then you're replacing your peddler here with this Sam Darcy. And he's one of those forwards that I mentioned I was missing out on. The other two were potentially, well, there's 3, isn't there? There's Nick Martin, there's Track, and then there's Horn Francis. So my plan is, let's actually get to the Word doc here. I've got it here. So, and it's funny because these are my original trade plans, and I've gone through a few different things, but what I'm thinking at the moment, so this is the current side, how it sits. So you've got Clark here, who could be a potential trade out, and I'm saying approximately 190 to 210, just based off some projections, and that's not with a fantastic score or anything there. Johnson, around the 230 mark by the end of this week. Boxall and Wicks, I'm not planning on trading out, so they just stay there. And these prices will also remain the same. So my plan is, I've got a bank, and this is all rounded up, 120k at the moment. Now, I'd hate to trade Johnson, but I think that I need to in order to do this. I'm going to trade Johnson here, who's currently in the midfield, to Charleston or Newen from Essendon. So Charleston's from Carlton. I just need to work out who's got the best fixture for loops and all that sort of stuff. So they're going to come in here as a defensive mid loop for our man Johnson, who hopefully can get to that 230k mark and make me 130k. That will then give me 250k in the bank. Now, I'm not sure if I'll need to do this necessarily or not. A lot of it will come down to projections and prices and all the rest, but at this stage I'm thinking Gray to Butler. I think that I'll need around this amount of money, maybe a little bit less, to make the final move that I want to. And also doing that, hopefully Butler continues to get games, and if I'm ultra desperate, there's a chance that he could actually cover for me here on field, which is okay. And then that will give me Pedlar to JHF and 500k to be able to do that. Now, Horn Francis at the moment is around 491k, so that's 10k up the sleeve. Pedlar's price will not move. So to do that, I think his break-even's in the 130s. He would have to go 150 odd, which I don't think that he's going to do. So that is pretty much the final plan, or else I can go Simpson here, potentially. So this instead of Gray, 143k down to a 99k rookie with DPP, so instead of Butler, and then use Gray for that DPP for some extra flexibility to bring some other players into the flex. So this is how the final side would look. You would have, I'll pretty much move Horn Francis back into the forward line there, but I'd pretty much count Bolton as that flex player for me. I've got DPP all over the place. So the good thing is, just say if a defender's out, then you've got McCarthy that comes straight in, which is good. If you've got one of these midfielders that are out, well, there's a number of different things that you could do. Ideally, probably just go McCarthy in here. He'll come on field, and then you can just put Charleston back there. Clark, if you're still getting game, may still be an emergency there if you're ultra desperate again. You've also got Bolton to be able to come in for, say, a Day Wicks here. And if Butler is getting a game, and that's why I'm looking at Butler at the moment, hoping for maybe half-decent job security, he could also come in and fill here as well. So with this DPP here, particularly Day Wicks, Charleston, McCarthy, and if Butler's actually going to continue to get a game, along with that 23rd flex in Bolton, I think that I'm going to be covered. Only 3 trades is very scary, but unless it's absolute carnage, I don't think that I'll really need to trade. I think I'll have the luxury of allowing that Bolton type to be that 22nd player, and then putting McCarthy in as that flex position, as that 23rd to cover, and I think that's going to be okay. I haven't got what you're in the back line, maybe in Ash. Holmes is probably the big one, so I'd love to have Holmes instead of McKercher. That would be fantastic. In the midfield, you'd love to have, let's just say, Butters over Dunkley, maybe Tom Green or an Anderson type over, say, a Lockie Neal, or in my case, I'd love to have George Hewitt there over Neal. Apart from that, I think we're looking okay. Great in the rucks, and then probably the big two are Petrarca and Nick Martin, I'd say, in that forward line. And in their place, I've got, your Rankin, Warner and Daniel. So I'm hoping that the gap isn't going to be too large there. And then Bolton as a flex, well, he's got that, 70 to maybe 105 type in him. I think that's okay-ish as well. Or do you just go McCarthy there? Yeah, there's a few different options that you've got anyway. So, and the other note there is that all premium forwards have midfield DPP apart from Darcy. So that allows some really easy looping here. And not that I think that I'll need it, but with these blokes here with DPP, I think that's going to be really handy as well. So that is pretty much my plan on how I'm going to finish the side. We'll talk about, what the side's going to look like this week. I've got, Dawson missing for Johnson. Who else have I got missing here? No one. So that is all good there. Geez, I'm looking all right, aren't I think. So Pedler's missing. What can I do here? So Daywicks. McCarthy. No, can't do anything there. So I've got that extra man down back, don't I? Can I get anyone? Nah, I think that's pretty much how I have to leave it for now, I think. Yep. Alright, so leave it like that for now. So I think I'm covered alright for this week. So I'll be 1 down. Who knows? I don't really count this, but let's just say 1 down. That's covered there. 2 down. And you're all covered there. So 2 down, potentially 3 down. I think I'm looking all good there. And captains, vice captains, going to keep this one really short and simple. I'm going to just leave it on Brayshaw. Big faith with him. Optus Stadium against the Bombers. So I think that's a bit of a no-brainer, to be quite honest. And then I'm most likely going to go straight to the last game and put my faith in the Bont against Richmond, or else could get Darcy in as an ultra pod, because I think he's going to go really big. So Let me know what you think, guys. But the final side, I think, will look okayish, minus a couple of big dogs here and there, but can't really complain too much. That's how I'm looking this week. And one final look, where's that Word document? This is how we're hopefully going to finish the side. So Whitfield, Nazai, Zorko, Dale, Sheasel, McKercher, Bont, Brayshaw, Neil, Dacos, Dawson, Chera, Sinclair, Dunkley, Gorn, Sherry, Baz, Horn, Francis, Darcy, Rankin, Warner, Daniel, Bolton in the flex, and then McCarthy lurking around there as well. Hopefully for a nice score here and there. So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what your plans are down the bottom. Remember to comment in the Swordplay potty who you think is going to be the highest Supercoach scorer this week, and you can win, of your choice, a platinum or a gold GDS card of that player going into this week, and you can use it in the new contender comp. So make sure that you do check that one out. But that is it for now, guys. Make sure that you look after yourselves. Have fun. Remember, Supercoach is just a game. I'm going to try a few different things like getting Roberts out, bring Darcy in, because he's a player that I'm going to really enjoy watching. So bring a bit of fun into it. Hopefully a bloke with a big ceiling, and I can cheer him on against the lowly Tigers this week. So all the best, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.